Yes, Judge Drake McCusker, attorney for the department.
Desiree Fotis, FPSS supervisor.
Matthew Schaefer, family-based caseworker.
Irene Acosta, attorney ad litem, appointed to represent the respondent, Father Clay Mangold. Mr. Mangold, can you unmute and announce, please?
Corey Mangold, father of Doc.
Jennifer Harris, attorney for the respondent mother, Ms. Richardson. She's here. Ms. Richardson, can you please say your name?
Sarah Richardson, mother.
Deborah Fuller, attorney for the children, present already, Your Honor.
Anyone who's not an attorney or will be giving testimony, please raise your right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Put your hands down. All right. We're here today for a compliance hearing on a TFF case. Mr. McKeska had mentioned in the breakout room that Ms. Rush, when she was still covering this county, had filed a motion to transition from TFF to court-ordered services or required participation. Mr. McKeska, do you want to say anything on the record about that now?
Yes, Judge. My understanding would be that we'd have to essentially dismiss this case, file a new petition, right, and basically start over, because there's separate provisions of the family code that they get filed under. The contents of the affidavit are different. So my proposal is the department actually just waive that motion, Judge, and continue with the TFF case. The provisions that we filed under for TFF give us access to the evidence-based services, but those aren't the only services ordered on the family plan of service. If the evidence-based services aren't available in this case because of the parent's circumstances, then we can continue on with the other court orders for services without the evidence-based services being included in that petition. So essentially, the TFF petition gives us the keys to those services, but it's not the only service included in the order. And so this case can continue even though those services aren't being provided at this time.
All right. Any response to the department's position?
Your Honor, I just want to make sure that, I mean, if there are any TFF services that can be provided, that I'd like to, I guess Miss Tavini is with the TFF program, and maybe she can let us know if they're providing anything.
Well, let me make sure I'm on the right track here. Mr. McKeska, do you have any specific, I know you're taking this case over, do you have any specific information as far as what involvement we're going to have in this case between TFF and required participation as far as services go?
No, Judge, but I'd be able to call witnesses and flesh out that testimony.
Okay. Why don't we do that first? Ms. Tavini is here, but I don't know if you would prefer to call her or if you wanted to call either Mr. Schaefer or Ms. Flores.
Judge, I can call Ms. Tavini.
Okay. Ms. Tavini, did you take the oath?
No, sir, I forgot.
All right, that's okay. Would you state your name, please?
Michelle Tavini.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Proceed, Mr. McKeska, please.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Tavini, how are you currently employed?
I am the program coordinator with DePelchin, and we're subcontracted under the TFF with Belong.
Okay. And are there any TFF services being provided to either Mr. or Miss Richardson or Mr. Mangold at this time?
For as far as the brief strategic family therapy, the evidence-based model through TFF, no, it is not being provided to the two parents.
Okay. Does the brief strategic family therapy model require Ms. Richardson to be present, or would you be able to offer that service to Mr. Mangold and the children in this case?
It does require the parent to be living in the home with the children. And because of the circumstances of Mr. Mangold and his paternity, like with the children that would qualify for brief strategic family therapy. It wouldn't be a good fit for them because the child, I believe, is not old enough.
Okay.
So that would need to be a different model.
Okay. And so the brief strategic family therapy then would be for Miss Richardson as the biological parent to the oldest child. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Pass the witness, Judge.
Ms. Harris,
Nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. Acosta,
Were any services able to be offered to either parents?
I know the intake wasn't ever done for brief strategic family therapy. I don't know if CPS or FBSS provided any other services, but we did not.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass.
Ms. Fuller,
Ms. Tavini, can your agency provide assistance to Ms. Richardson once she is completed her inpatient?
It's possible. If she's residing back in the home with the children, then that's possible. But she would have to be living in the house with the children to receive the BSFT under TFF.
Thank you. Pass the witness.
any other questions for Ms. Tavini?
No, Judge.
Any other witnesses as far as this particular procedural issue is concerned?
No, Judge.
Okay.
No.
All right. Then Mr. Schaefer, as far as this case at this point in time, where do we stand? And are the parents in compliance? And are there any particular issues we need to address?
Your Honor, as of right now, I'd be happy to say that both parents are in compliance. I'm really proud that Ms. Richardson had entered in successfully into inpatient treatment, has been very proactive in her recovery and addressing the addiction. I've had nothing but good progress reports from her counselor and also speaking with Sarah as well. You can tell really about her way of thinking, her mindset, demeanor, her overall attitude has been in a positive manner. So she is very well prospering through on her end in her recovery, being there at inpatient treatment. She is actively engaging in NA and AA classes. They offered Monday through Friday daily. And then on the weekends, she's able to do NA and AA packets, which her counselor states that she actually is engaging in addition. So she really wants to meet that goal of 90 NAs in 90 days. There's been no negative reports in regards to her ability to be a parent and do the parent role and duties with Doc being in her care and treatment. Hasn't been any hindering involved in her treatment. So where she stands right now, she's doing quite well. The only thing that's lacking on her court-ordered services would be her psychological evaluation. I was able to communicate with a secondary worker in Tom Green County to get that set up now where we have the ability to do it virtually. So that is the next step that I'll be working on, is getting that psychological set up so she'll be in compliance in that manner. Other than that, she's doing exactly what she needs to do. As we all know, the big test will be once she does complete 90 days, as she states that's her goal to reach. And we're looking about, I believe October 11th would be the 90-day, roughly, give or take a day or two, with her being discharged. So the big test would be when she's out, how things go and proceed on from there. But right now, she's doing well. In regards to Mr. Mangold, he too has been in very much compliance. He's testing for us randomly and they're negative. He's engaging in his outpatient treatment with South Texas Rural Health. He's engaging in individual counseling with Ariana Hernandez at the same facility weekly. He did complete his psychological evaluation. The only thing lacking for him would just be his follow-up with his mental health appointments with MHTD in Hondo. Currently, that was put on hold as he did start employment, and he wanted to make sure he got something established to where he can then kind of figure out a plan as to what they're going to do with his availability. So other than that, with him, he's been in compliance. In regards to the no contact order, he's been following that as well. There were a couple instances where it appeared that it could have been broken. There was a scheduling issue in regards to the facility with the boys' schedule and dad's schedule. or Corey's schedule, where he did arrive and at the same time, but the kids were in the lobby, but he noticed and he just kept walking. Staff was able to corroborate that story that he did not look at them. He did not stop to talk to them or interact in any manner. He proceeded on to the back where he met with his counselor. And other things that rose up were the possible phone calls being made. Through further investigating, I was able to corroborate that due to certain setup of their phone plan and whatnot, it appeared as if Corey was calling the children, but in fact he was not. It was actually Sarah. And again, I was able to corroborate that through trial and error and determine that when one parent would call, it would bring up and show up as the other parent. So it appeared as if he was trying to contact them, but he has been actually following the no contact order. So I want to make that known. So in regards to the parents, I can say they're really in full compliance with how things are going.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Schaefer. Mr. McCaskill, any questions for Mr. Schaefer?
No, Judge.
Ms. Harris?
Is there anything else that you're wanting from Ms. Richardson at this time?
Nope, just to engage in her psychological evaluation when we set it up.
That's all, Your Honor.
Ms. Acosta?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Mr. Schaefer, is the no contact order still necessary?
I've spoken to the therapist to get some recommendations and feedback, and she did not have anything, nor did the outpatient therapist have any safety concerns or worrisome concerns in regards to Mr. Mangold and having contact with the children. They just really wanted Mr. Mangold to focus on his continued efforts in self-care and working on himself, but there was nothing that was imperative to cause an issue of any type of safety concern to be around the boys.
Okay, and so do you think that it would be appropriate for him to be allowed around the boys at this time?
Based on the evidence and information I've obtained, I do not see an issue with that.
Okay. Is there anything else that Mr. Mangold needs to do at this time?
Would just to engage in his follow-up on the recommendations of his psychological, to engage and follow up with his mental health needs through MHCD and Hondo.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Ms. Fuller?
Mr. Schaefer, in regards to Ms. Richardson, how often is she able to see her children?
She's able to see pretty much weekly, depending on if her own maternal grandparents are able to get the boys up there, and or if the department is able to assist. I know that the maternal grandmother did make an attempt and go up there with the children and have contact, and the department has also helped out as well with taking up the children. So ideally, she does have the capability of having weekly visits, depending on the availability of who's transporting her.
How often is the department able to transport?
When I talked with upper management, we stated that it was ideally right now, with availability of our transporter with other clientele, that the department could offer at least once a month transport up there to San Angelo.
So is there a possibility that you could extend that to twice a month so these boys have an opportunity to see their younger brother and spend time with their mom?
Absolutely.
Okay. And what about telephone contact? How often does she get that?
I know that's been going on pretty much weekly, if not 2, maybe 3 times a week. I know that the phone conversations have been occurring, and there's been nothing risen as a concern with the phone contact. So I know I've spoken to the boys, and they've talked about, how their mom's doing, and that it's good to hear from them and see her as well.
And then for Mr. Mangold, in regards to any therapy he's receiving, are they addressing the anger management issues that were brought about in the police reports?
They're not totally in depth yet. They were still working on opening the realm of him focusing more on himself and self-care. I do know that talking to Mr. Mangold and the therapist, this was kind of a rough patch for him when when Miss Richardson did leave with Doc. The separation of them has made him feel a little bit depressed. And so therapists and Mr. Mangold are working more of like, hey, self-care, working on things to help yourself and kind of get out of that feeling. So that's where they're at right now, is focusing on his self-care and his managing those coping skills and whatnot. But anger management is something that's going to be discuss further in depth.
And then what about family therapy for Ms. Richardson and the boys, and for Mr. Mangold and the boys?
Yeah, depending on what we were going to do about the brief strategic family therapy, if that was to end and step aside, then that's something very well the department would just carry on and take over once Ms. Richardson does exit successfully. Ariana Hernandez can continue in the family therapy, whether if the no contact order is set aside. Mr. Mangold can do that already with the boys if the court deems that that's appropriate. So, yes, the department will carry on in that need.
Okay, and so do you feel comfortable that with Mr. Mangold attending family therapy with Ariana and the boys?
Absolutely. I don't see anything negative about that.
Okay, pass the witness, Your Honor. Oh, one other question. Is there any services or clothing or anything that CPS can provide to the grandparents to assist with boys since they've started school?
Yes, we do have a rainbow room that I do know that has some supplies and such. So I feel that we'll try to do our best to gather up some necessary school supplies. And then we'll look into the community and what Bexar County may also have in regards to clothing and whatnot to try to fulfill that need for the boys.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or witnesses?
No, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Fuller, anything else you want to report?
I mean, the boys are doing really, really well. They're very happy. They're actually very talkative. When I saw them last week, and they miss their mom. They want to see her more. They say they only see her twice a month, and so they wish they could see her more. So if we can arrange that and assist in any way, I think that would be good for them and good for Miss Richardson. Plus, they miss their younger brother. But overall, they're doing really good. School is just starting. I was hoping that we could get some assistance with school clothes. They don't have uniforms this year, so it's more of a burden on the grandparents, and they can't really, Sarah can't really assist. She's in treatment and financially, and so I would just hope that they can see their mom more often, and then we could get some assistance for clothing, shoes, and stuff for school, and then to start family therapy with Mr. Mangold right now to see how that goes.
Then for the court ordered compliance or the TFF compliance hearing, court finds that both parents are in compliance with their services in this case. It's in the best interest of the children to continue the court ordered services case. Our next hearing will be November 12th, 2024 at 1:30. November 12th, 2024 at 1:30. I'm going to order that the no contact order be abandoned at this time, and order increased contact and visitation as possible. And I'm going to order the department to assist with clothes and whatever needs the boys might have as possible. I'm really proud of both of you for the progress that you've made since we were last here a little over a month ago. Sounds like things are going really well at this point in time, and just encourage you to continue. And I know you probably heard him say it, Miss Richardson, but you're doing great right now. When you get out, you got to keep it up. You get the tempo that you're at right now. It's got to stay where it is, because that's the test, and you know that. And Mr. Mangold, you know that as well. So the best thing to do, and I'm proud of you for continuing the 90 meetings in 90 days. I'm glad that you took that seriously, Miss Richardson, and that you committed to that. And I just hope that when you are released in October, because we're not gonna be here until after that, that you continue what you're doing. It sounds from what Mr. Schaefer said and what Ms. Fuller is saying, that you really are showing a genuine and authentic effort here, which is what we've wanted to see for a long time. And I'm just really encouraging you to keep it up, because when you leave there, you're going to have lots of reasons to fall back into old habits. And I know you're learning these things, and I know you probably hear it all day, every day, and you're sick of it, but that's where we need to be right now. So I'm proud of you for what you've done so far, Mr. Mangold. I'm proud of you too. Keep up the good work. And I'll see you all November 12th at 1:30. Anything I failed to address?
Yeah, Your Honor, I just asked that the initial contact be through family therapy with Mr. Mangold. I don't think, I think we need to get some idea with the therapist to do a recommendation on how often. That these are not his children, but if he's going to be a part of the family, I think that the initial contact should be through the family therapy. The
That's
boys are
fine.
enjoying therapy, and then that therapist could give the recommendation.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do the first visit through therapy. All right. Anything else? Okay, thank you all for your time and your service. All parties are excused.